Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Matt from the Matt Night Show. Now, recently, MTG has just been spilling the dirt about the Trump administration, all the little dirty deeds, and especially how they were trying to hide the Epstein files. Let's go straight into the first clip. Run the clip, Josh.
This is why he called me a traitor. He called me a traitor because I would not take my name off the discharge petition, because I stood firmly and said, no, we're going to release the Epstein files. I'm standing with women who were as teenagers. I'm not standing with the government. I don't support the cover up of all of this stuff, whatever it may be. And the president got mad at me, and he told me, and I've said this multiple times, he told me his friends would get hurt. And that's what he told me. And then we're seeing a continued slow walk and cover up of a lot of this information. And I know that is why. I firmly believe that that's why it is being covered up. So when everyone's getting mad at Pam Bondi, or you can name anybody you want. The man at the top is Donald Trump. He's the president. And he's the one that was completely against releasing the files. When we started fighting to get them released, he's the one that called it a Democrat hoax.
You hear that, right? You hear what she said. He's the one that called it Democrat hoax, right? And this is the thing that you got to remember. She said something that was important. Trump is the man at the top pulling all the strings. So when you see people go on TV and say crazy stuff, like Kristi Noem, remember when she called Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist? Run the clip, Josh.
Individual showed up to a law enforcement operation with a weapon and dozens of rounds of ammunition. He wasn't there to peacefully protest. He was there to perpetuate violence.
Yeah, like MTG said, it was all Trump, right? Trump is pulling the strings. And sometimes it's so many things that happen in this administration. There's so much news that you have to sometimes go back and run the tape, right? Because there's so many things that happen that people forget. In past administrations, we would talk about an issue for weeks at a time. Trump is flooding the zone with so much BS that you forget. Remember just a few weeks ago, he called affordability a hoax. Run a clip, Josh.
You know, this whole thing is, they use the word affordability. It's a Democrat hoax. They're the ones that drove the prices up. Mm-hmm. And all they do is say affordability, and you're supposed to say, oh, that means they had low prices. No, we inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. They say 48 years, but let's say that's history. I don't believe that. Biden had, because of his stupid ways and between his energy policies and his spending policies, we had the worst inflation in the history of our country. And now our prices are coming down, and they're coming down for cars, and they're coming down. I mean, did you
look at their faces? They're like, man, this guy is full of it, right? He just keeps coming with all this BS, man. You just get hit with so much. And don't forget DOGE. Remember DOGE, right? And remember when Elon came out with the chainsaw? That was just a few months ago, man. Run the clip, Josh.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
Look at that, man. Like I said, man, there you go. The Michael Myers. All right, this is all happening under Trump. And sometimes when we report the news and we talk about it, sometimes we have to kind of stop and look and go back to all the other BS. And don't forget all the promises that were made. You know, somebody tweeted this, right? Remember with DOGE, it was going to be so much cost savings that you were going to get a DOGE refund check. Nowhere to be found, right? Nowhere to be found. Where's my 10% APR on credit cards? Nowhere to be found. And then make matters worse with credit cards, they pretty much got rid of the consumer protection, right? Why aren't my prescriptions 15% cheaper? Why aren't groceries cheaper yet? We were supposed to be taking over Greenland, remember? And we were going to save so much money and get so much money in from tariffs that we all would get a tariff check. Didn't happen, right? But don't worry, you can just
Blame Biden.
blame Biden, right? So I just say, man, you have to stop and think about it. And MTG said something that was extremely important. Despite all these different people, Hegseth, Mark Rubio, JD Vance, Trump is the man on top, right? And that's, as the American people, need to look at Trump and say, hey,
You're killing me, man.
you're killing me, man. You messing up a lot of stuff, man. You messing up a lot of stuff. And I'm gonna say this, man. What makes it so bad with Trump is that Trump dominates the news cycle so much that sometimes we don't even stop and appreciate the things and the people who actually made history and tried to do the right thing, right? That's why I want to give a special shout out to Jesse Jackson. He died at 84 years old, but a civil rights leader. He was there when Dr. King was assassinated. This guy has seen a lot, and I wanted to give him his just due, man. Give him his respect, man. So let's get a round of applause for the work that Jesse Jackson did. Right? Because sometimes we forget, man. We see all this stuff with Trump, but there's a lot of people who've been doing a lot of good work and a lot of people who are passing, and we need to honor them instead of just always going over this BS with Trump. Right? So I just kind of wanted to take a step back in this video and kind of highlight all of the different things that have been happening and just really kind of dive into what MTG was saying, right? Because MTG has been telling it all. Make sure you watch the different interviews that she has, because she's letting you know this is how Trump thinks and this is who Trump is, right? So make sure you do those 3 things that we always ask. Make sure you share, like, and most importantly, you already know what the last one is, y'all. Subscribe. Take care, everybody.